Karmic relationships typically come with an unspoken negative connotation. Like this particular connection is a result of wrongdoings from this life or even a past one. But the reality is that our entire existence is a result of our past energies and current makeup. And all of the relationships in our lives are manifestations of the specific vibrations we resonate with most. This is where the idea of karmic relationships comes from. It serves as a means to highlight the significance of a bond between two people in the context of their current lives. Current being the operative word, as karmic relationships fluctuate as we grow, evolve, or stagnate.
Are you dumping me?
Didn't you already dump me?
Degrassi ships are the essence of karma. In these relationships, we see elements of those we've loved and dynamics we've potentially been a part of, with many in the fandom holding heavy opinions about who really belongs together and why. In this video, we are going to be looking at two iconic Degrassi pairings and dissecting the karmic energy behind why their outcomes were ultimately karmically justified. This is the real reason why Sean never came back for Ellie and why Emma married Spinner. Two relationships with a distinct karmic link between the soul energies of Emma Nelson and Sean Cameron. This is a Channeling Chinez podcast. There's a couple of questions I know people will likely want answered in this video. Is it true that Ellie and Sean were a better match? Is it awkward and out of place that Emma ended up with Spinner? Shouldn't Emma and Sean have been endgame? These are the three major areas we're going to tackle head on. Ellie and Sean. It's important to look at the stage of a person's life when they enter into certain relationships. We tend to attach the concept of forever onto romantic relationships. This is likely from societal programming or the fear of loss. However, energy isn't always stable or consistent, and who we connect with during certain phases of our life are entirely dependent on our energy. Yes, Sean and Ellie were the better match at that time. In the Breakfast Club episode where Sean and Ellie connect, both students are currently in two similar points emotionally and personally in their lives, serving almost like two bookends on a shelf of adolescent grief and helpless circumstances.
It's with the elastic bands. You want to tell me? It's fine. I just thought you weren't hiding it.
It's a therapy technique. I guess everyone knows about me.
They know about the rumors.
What? You're not gonna scare it out of me like you did with Hazel?
No.
It was the only pain I could control.
That makes sense.
You're the first person who's ever said that.
Carry that bag with you everywhere, huh?
Emphasis on psycho.
I think you're cute. Guess I got to you.
Dream on.
You don't seem scared of me.
Nope. You don't seem freaked by me.
Nope.
Are you freaked now?
Both Sean and Ellie knew what it was like to be at the mercy of a parent with substance abuse issues, and both characters knew the unique feeling of being outcasted or feeling on the outskirts of the mainstream group. Astrologically, this relationship reads like a Scorpio man, Taurus woman, with Ellie as the patient, devoted lover and Sean unafraid of darkness and the murky depths of life. Like sister signs, the two seemingly found comfort in one another, able to be versions of themselves, softer versions that were unable to fully exist in the stress of their home environments. With Sean, Ellie felt free to dance, and Sean felt supported in his self as he was, something he didn't fully feel in his relationship with Emma, but we'll touch on that a bit more when we talk about Emma and Spinner's story. One would think that the nature of their pseudo-teen marriage, that the level of devotion to this connection would have caused Sean to not only not leave Ellie after the events of When Time Stands Still, or at very least come back for her when he returned to Toronto. But the nature of this particular karmic relationship, as one that serves to heal a soul after an intense period of distress, aren't always the relationships that grow us over time. Both Sean and Ellie needed the healing of their relationship when they came together. Ellie needed refuge from her dangerous mother, to be held as she healed from self-harming, to be seen after falling for a closeted friend. Sean really needed to be recognized for the gifts that he possessed currently. He needed to be focused on and to actually have an emotional standpoint for the first time in his life. He needed attentive emotional support that he didn't receive from his parents or his brother, and that Emma couldn't provide. Not because Emma didn't want to, but because she was needed in too many other areas of her life. So the relationship between Sean and Ellie served as a healing purpose up until Rick's last day at school. So the question becomes, why didn't Sean come back for Ellie? While this kind of karmic relationship can be healing for a time, it doesn't absolve a soul of deep soul work. Sean wasn't going to be able to serve as a band-aid that allowed Ellie never to address her issues with abandonment, avoidance, and holding others accountable in her life. Only relationships that tested her resolve could offer that. Ellie wasn't going to be able to force Sean to address his own worthiness. This was his biggest Achilles heel. Was he smart enough to finish school? Was he worthy enough for a second chance? Was he redeemable? These were elements that plagued Sean at the soul level. While his relationship with Ellie externally healed him for a time, it wasn't a substitute for the inner work, which is what Sean was constantly forced into anytime he addressed his feelings for Emma. Emma and Sean served more as twin flames, mirroring each other's wounds, which is something we will expand on more when we discuss whether or not they were end game. Sean never came back for Ellie because what they could offer each other had run its course. Sean returning home was his decision to choose healing instead of running. This, in effect, broke the karmic contract between him and Ellie, and this also forced his karmic counterpart to face her own emotional avoidance, which she would go on to struggle with in his absence. Leaving Ellie and not coming back for her was the best thing Sean could have done for himself, and also for a karmic partner who would have likely struggled to let go.
Look, for the first time in my life, I need to be here with my parents to deal.
Which brings me to the next question. Aren't Sean and Emma supposed to be endgame? The simplest answer to this question is sure. In a world where both Emma and Sean are able to focus on their healing and other connections and then eventually come back together in a balanced union is certainly ideal and one that many of us wanted to see. But the key component in ensuring this was both parties embarking on that healing, something Sean was just beginning to do with his decision to enter the forces, another instance of him trying to prove his worth externally, so not yet going within. And Emma still had a lot of work to do on her sense of self-esteem. While original Emma was always confident in her beliefs and steadfast in what she felt was justified, Emma in relationships would try to apply this same level of rigidity to her partners, and that would rarely work. If you notice, anytime Sean and Emma came together, there would be huge tower moments, which is very much twin flame. Like the weight of their connection actually crumbled the fabric of their lives, almost pulling the two magnets together and forsaking anything that might come between that.
No, I just got my period for the first time. Menstruation, you may have heard of it, happens to 50% of the population. You can go to Palladium, or there's this free concert in the park, or...
Relax, okay?
Right. God, that was verbal diarrhea, wasn't it?
Would you mind if you waited outside? My place isn't like yours. It's a dump.
You want to mess with me? I'll mess you up. I'm big trouble.
Anything I've ever tried at, I have failed.
Sean, come on. Sean, leave him alone.
Emma, get out of here!
Sean, I've ruined everything.
What are you talking about?
I interfered and I ruined everything, and I don't even think the wedding's gonna happen. Fine, be like that.
Like what?
Sulky.
You're so uptight.
Why? Because I didn't want to, make out in front of other people?
No, because you never want to do anything. Not with me.
I just spent my entire lunch with you.
Yeah, cleaning the ravine.
Well, sorry that I care about stupid, unimportant things like the environment.
That's all you care about. Emma Nelson, environmental crusader, a babysitter, a nurse.
Snake has cancer, Sean.
Yeah, I heard.
Fine. Tomorrow you spend lunch with those losers.
You know what? I will. Because at least they're fun.
Fun? And you? You're just pathetic.
I mean, cops, street races. It's bad news, okay? I'm bad news. I gotta stop hanging out with you.
I don't want you to stop.
This isn't supposed to happen.
Didn't have to. But you made it.
Don't give up on me. Please.
I can't be perfect, Sean. I can't be everything you need all the time.
Good. I want you to challenge me.
Sure. But if we're gonna have a real relationship, you need to save yourself from yourself sometimes.
But if both parties are unstable internally, this connection cannot thrive long term. Sean still idealized Emma, refusing to see her fully as a flawed and also worthy individual, which was a mirror reflection of his struggle to see himself that same way. Emma still tried to control and micromanage her and Sean's growth as a means of creating an equilibrium for herself. Emma craved stability and never took kindly to any changes that might disrupt that. So why did Emma marry Spinner? Emma and Spinner have a purely karmic marriage. It is a result of the energies both were carrying at that specific point in their life, where they were found to be equally yoked in their desires, wants, and limitations. Because Emma craved stability and control, she floundered in college. In spite of her efforts, she was unable to control Manny and Liberty on her campus. She found much of her control in her intimate relationships because she learned how to manipulate her partners with desire. But that's another conversation for another video that I'm actually already working on for y'all. I would even go as far as saying that Emma was embedded with a deep desire for control while in the womb of a 14-year-old Spike who felt completely out of control of her pregnancy and her circumstances.
Emma, I wish I'd never had her.
She didn't have the backup of two parents who were virtually Degrassi royalty and a whole community of people who watched her grow up throughout her entire life. Coming home and marrying the guy who never wants to leave their hometown is quite literally how karma works in this case. Emma married her equal at that point in time.
I love music, but I don't want to be famous. I love my job, but I don't need to be rich. I love my loft, my city, my friends, and I don't like change.
Who needs fame or money when everything you could ever want wakes up beside you?
When Emma returned from Smithdale, it wasn't because she wasn't smart enough to hack it in college, and hardly because her lame boyfriend wanted other things. Emma wasn't in control on that campus the way she was at Degrassi. Spinner's decision to marry Emma is also very karmically common in our modern world. The truth is, most masculines evolve slowly, if at all, on a spiritual level in their lifetime. That means that the process of shedding and becoming new versions of themselves stalls at a point for most masculines. This is usually due to a disconnect in their feminine chakras, particularly the third eye and the crown. Masculines who crave codependent, comfortable relationships usually marry whoever is right there at the time, whenever they're ready to actually take that step, and seldom marry their true loves. For Spinner, Emma was there, and she wasn't interested in expanding in the ways that Jane or even Darcy or Paige were. Depending on how much Emma and Spinner grow and change will likely determine how long they stay married. If either of them were to disconnect from codependent dynamics and choose separation, then only time would tell if Emma and Sean would ever make it back to each other whole. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy content like this. You can connect with me at Official Chinez on TikTok and Instagram. You can also follow my tarot reading channel here on YouTube at Chinez Tarot, and check out my Substack newsletter, Static and Ripples. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.